Yeah, we're here at Delta Stockcrates in Feilding, North Island, New Zealand. A client that's been with us for about 8 months approximately. They make aluminium stock crates for moving cattle around the country. They're a business which are based here in Feilding and also in Tauranga and also Timaru in the South Island, New Zealand.
My name's Daryl Coleman. I'm the Managing Director of the Delta Stockcrates Group. We have 3 sites in New Zealand, one based here in Feilding, which is our head office, and one in the South Island, Timaru, and one up north in Tauranga. We employ about 40 workshop staff across those 3 branches, and we decided to upgrade our time and costing systems probably 12 months or so ago, and have been working actively with the Empower guys, and have probably been using the Empower system here in Feilding actively for about the last 8 months. We're currently rolling it out into our 2nd branch as we speak, and hope to have all 3 branches up and running within the next 12 months.
They're all manufacturing sites, Daryl?
Yes, they are. They all produce livestock transportation systems, predominantly in alloy, so we're using high value material, and a significant number of hours are involved in producing one livestock crate, so we're obviously quite interested to make sure we're doing that particular exercise efficiently.
How many staff, rough numbers, each site on 3 sites?
As I said, we've got about 40 workshop staff across all 3, and they're roughly spread evenly between the 3. So yes, we embarked on using Empower about 12 months ago. Prior to that, we just had manual timesheet recording systems for our time, and the guys would fill them out on a weekly basis or a daily basis, as in the case of one branch, which was then manually entered into our job costing module of our accounting software. We did have time clocks, which we used in 2 of the branches. They have now been made redundant, and we're relying entirely now on Empower to track our time, which has been quite a change for people to get used to.
Yeah, just relating to your question there, a point there about time clocks, Daryl, that was for day start and day end. All your staff on jobs throughout the day, that was all done manually?
Yes, it was. We only used the time clocks for recording the day start and the day finish, which was essentially a card system that they picked their particular staff card up and swiped it through the machine to record a time log. Anything to do with costing a job, the hours spent on a repair or even a new product was all done off a manual timesheet, which was then transferred into our computer system by an admin person. So obviously there's a lot of potential there to make that whole system more streamlined and hopefully more accurate, and provide us with some data to analyse in terms of costings for the future as well, and that's where we saw Empower could possibly fit the bill. When we first decided to move to Empower, we had the software installed for our Feilding branch, as I said, and we just started off with the staff using it as effectively a time clock, starting the day and ending the day on the touch screens, which I'll show you shortly. And that then has now migrated into full time and cost analysis, where they clock in and out of essentially each job that they do, which is providing us with real strong reporting now in terms of costings and also performance analysis of our various staff. So we're now able to use hard data in our performance reviews with staff. We're also able to track the efficiencies of various staff members when they're doing a similar job. For example, our parts and componentry manufacturing, we're doing similar production runs multiple times during a year, and we can track how various staff use their time to produce those production runs, which has been very useful. By and large, we've found that staff have actually endorsed the system. They seem to be having now much greater interest and awareness that time is money for us, and that's been a positive spin-off. They haven't really taken that as a threat. They're genuinely interested in how they do on jobs, genuinely interested into improving that in the future, and we've found that culture change amongst the staff's been quite refreshing, and certainly feels that we're part of a team here that involves them to produce a product in a much more cost-efficient manner. One advantage we have had from the Empower system since it's gone in is the ability to have more information around our downtime or non-productive hours in the day. In the past, the manual timesheet system wasn't focused on that. It pretty much had a single bucket where all our non-chargeable, non-productive time went into. Through Empower, we've now been able to split that into subcategories of non-productative time, and
that's, you mean by that also your factory overhead type jobs, clean, repair, maintain,
yes, so
service,
cleaning, stock taking, putting away stock, repairing machinery, training, any of those things that
rework.
used to not be tracked onto a job have now actually got separate codes, and we can now quite easily analyse where all of those areas of time are going in a month, and that's been very useful for us to feed into our overall budgets.
So the entire factory by week, by day, back to individual staff members, actual time in each,
yep,
against budget, or their total for the week on downtimes against budget.
Yep,
all
that's certainly all possible. I mean, having the data available and the extensive reporting that Empower has with it, and that allows us to analyse that data in all sorts of different ways for future benefit, which is good. One thing we do love about the system is the screen you can see on my computer at the moment is the who's working on what, and that's of course in real time. Because we run remote servers, I can actually have the screen live for any one of the branches, and I can see instantly what's being worked on and who's on what jobs.
Could you just point your finger to that bottom third?
So we have here the actual productive jobs that are being worked on, all our staff members and what jobs they are. You've got the downtime section here, and downtime jobs men are working on live. Yes, that's live. So this particular person's doing a delivery at the moment, and the bottom half here, which you can see is blank, which is the way we like it, is people that are clocked in but actually not assigned to any job or downtime code at the moment, and you can see everyone's allocated their time to a job. And so that screen refreshes itself in real time, and it gives both myself and our workshop foreman the ability to see where people are logged into.
So that bottom section there called unaccounted is when men may have logged out of one job and gone walkabout, and not logged on to the next. If they've done that, yep, we can see that live, that's occurred. Yeah.
And there's reports at the end of the day or the end of the week that you can generate that helps hone in on those particular areas that we need to work on, and that's great. As with any new software implementation, you rely heavily on the support that comes from the provider in that initial period. We found that Empower was more than helpful to get us through those initial steps. They seemed to be able to explain any queries that we had, and were more than happy to help us over the phone, and also remote into our computer if need be and show us actually on the screen as to what was required. So that was a big help for something that was so new to us and our staff.
So that's really what you might call, during implementation, that was your 2 months worth of training and advice to get you up and running.
Yeah, we wanted to take it at a pace that the staff felt comfortable with it, and that's why we are staging the implementation. And I think that initial period was good for us as well to get to grips with the software, so that we actually knew its power and its abilities as well before we had to try and then sell it to our staff at the same time. So yes, I mean the help desk was great through that whole period, and continues to be so. Like I think there are still some areas where we can hone our own use of the system, and possibly there's some custom development that we'll continue to work on with the Empower guys to ensure we get the most out of it. But I think it goes without saying that we're committed to going forward with this package. I think it's made a huge contribution already to both the culture of the staff and their awareness of time management, our ability to have the data to back up the costings that we've done in the past, and to find inefficiencies in our production processes. And I'm hoping within the next 12 months to 18 months we'll have all 3 branches running on this system, and we can look forward to some real financial gains from doing so.
Yeah, thanks for that, Daryl. Just concluding, if we've got a prospective client in engineering or otherwise that wants to have a chat to you about anything specific, would you mind fielding an email or a phone call?
Oh, I'm more than happy to help anyone that's in this in the same space that we were 12 months ago, trying to work out how to find the next area of efficiency. So, and what Empower's done to help us find that, I'd be more than happy to talk that through with anybody.
Yep, what's your phone number here, Daryl? What's your best number?
The best way is the phone numbers are on the website. If you just go to www.deltacrates.co.nz, the phone numbers for contacting us are on there, and also our email addresses, so feel free to use any of those ways.
Thank you very much, greatly appreciated, and we'll whip out with you now and have a look at your factory floor if we can.
Not a problem. This is our factory screen where we have the people logging in and off touchscreen, so once you go in and they can use the screen here to find their various jobs, clocking in and out, using the green and red button, finding their hours they're on, using their downtime codes, and it's all off the screen. So there's no keyboard, no mouse.
Yeah, that's a great upgrade, Daryl. Most of our clients, for anyone listening here, just have old PCs, but the touchscreen is good in that there's no bench or keyboard needed, so it's right out of the road, and it's a little bit quicker and slicker. Thanks.
This is an example here of one of the crates that we're currently building. There's a lot of man hours in one of these things to get them to the final completion stage, and so there's obviously a lot of opportunity for us to track that time and make sure that we're doing it efficiently. So you can get up to 1,000 hours on one of these things, and it's important that we are using that time wisely.
Yep, thank you, and I'll just look around here and look at the factory. So that's an existing truck repair, is it, Daryl?
Yes, it's a repair, it's in for a bit of service work. Again, we track all of our service jobs through the system, and our billing to the client is off those time records.
Got a lot of welding bays around, a lot of part manufacture, I suppose. And
here's our parts bay where we hold most of the componentry that goes into new crates, both the here and the Timaru branch built in Fieldy here. We maintain sort of a manual Kanban type system where we keep maximum minimums in stock, and every production run of a part is put through Empower so that we can track the production time for that, which is great help to give us finally some data of various production runs for similar parts, and that's helping us greatly with costing as well as performance management.
brilliant. Thanks, Daryl.